Hey guys, welcome back to another New World video. Today I'll be showing you the best ways to make money and level up your skinning in New World. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing as it helps out my channel massively. I'm going to be starting with some important tips you guys should know before you start leveling, and then I'll cover the quickest way to get to 200 skinning. And lastly, I'll show you guys some of my favourite spots for farming thick hide and iron hide. The first thing I advise is that you guys should get to level 60 first before you focus on leveling your gathering skills. The reason for this is that once you get to level 60, you can use a much higher level gathering tool which has a faster base gathering speed. So even if you don't have much gold, you can still buy a cheap level 60 tool with 1 or 2 good perks on, and leveling up will be so much faster. Also, if you are leveling, then you can consider turning on your PvP flag to get an extra 10% XP, but this is also risky, and if you die then you're losing XP, so it's up to you. I just thought I'd give you guys the option here. The third tip I have for you guys is your attributes. Whether you're leveling up or farming, you should dedicate 250 attribute points to dexterity to give you faster skinning speed and an extra 10% yield. The fourth tip is regarding the perks you want on your skinning knife. The two main ones I highly recommend are skinning luck and skinning yield. Yield is basically a must-have. Anything that boosts your yield, you'll want this. This is also why proficiency potions would come in handy too, so if you can make them or buy them, you should. Efficiency sounds good, but when your skinning knife already has like 700% gather speed on it, an extra 90% won't be noticeable. But don't get me wrong, it would help out a bit, but if you want to buy a tool with as many good perks on as possible, it can be quite costly. I would prioritize yield and luck, and if you can get efficiency on that as well, then great, but if not, it's not the end of the world. In my opinion, having a luck perk on your skinning knife is so much better than efficiency because it increases the rate of rare drop items like small hide and scar hide, which are very valuable. The discipline perk gives you extra XP, which will help you level up quicker and farm aptitude crates faster, but I wouldn't prioritize getting a skinning knife with it over yield and luck. Obviously having all of them would be the best, but it may not be affordable, so sometimes you have to prioritize getting the best perks. Another tip is that you can play music before you set off, and you can have the option to boost either your yield or speed. It's up to you which you choose, and both are amazing, so I recommend this. Also, if you can afford it, there are skinning trophies which will boost your luck while skinning, so these are a nice bonus to have too. Another tip is that while you're leveling, absolutely avoid dropping rawhide on the floor or selling it to buy orders. Both of these are a waste of gold, so either you should be storing them away for leveling up your crafting skills later, or if you plan on making money by farming, then list them as sell orders. Never sell to buy orders because they almost always offer you less gold than what you can actually sell them for. My final bit of advice for you guys is related to the gear. For the purpose of leveling, you don't need skinning gear or skinning perks on your bag. Unless you plan on doing a substantial amount of skinning after you reach level 200, or to make money or crafting later, it's simply not worth the investment. Because once you buy these and equip them, they'll be bound to you and then you're stuck with them. If you're planning on making money from this, either by farming aptitude crates or farming bulk amounts of the hides, only then should you consider investing in the skinning gear. Unless of course the gear is cheap or easy to get on your server, then by all means go for it. You can still gather a decent amount and make good money without all these pricey pieces of gear, and the same goes for bags with leather perks on them. Tanner's Burden can be useful, but is by no means necessary. Now let's get to the best way to level up your skinning. First, from 1 to 50, you'll want to farm low level wolves. You can find these anywhere on the map, and there's no one single best spot for this. You just want to be in a spot with a dozen wolves and no other players around. I've listed a few of these on the screen, and in the gameplay footage you can see that I'm farming them in Windswood, but wolves are pretty much everywhere. And this is pretty easy and you'll get to level 50 quite fast. Next, to get from 50 to 200, all we're going to be doing here is farming these lush hunt pointers. And the best spot for this is in Cutler's Keys, because these have very fast respawn times. There's so many of them in a single spot and they give huge amounts of XP, meaning this is a single best spot for getting straight to 200. But these only drop rawhide, so my recommendation is that if you want to get resources for crafting, leveling up other skills, or making money farming either iron hide or thick hide, I'll now suggest some of the spots that you can farm these. But bearing in mind that these might not be the best spots, these are just a few options. The best spot will obviously be where the least amount of players go. So for thick hide, I've listed 4 on screen. My favourite spot is in Ebonscale, just left of the settlement, because there's also orichalcum ore in there. But again, I've listed a few alternatives because if there are other players there, you'll want to move to a spot which is uncontested. So the other spots, there's one in Great Cleave, there's a cave which wolves spawn in which is great, Another couple of places are obviously Boar's home. I had to list it here, but it's usually occupied. But you can also try this area next to Valor's Hold, which there are a lot of boars roaming around there. Lastly, if you want to farm Ironhide, I've listed a few great spots again on screen, and these are just some of my starter places. My favourite spot is the one in Ebonscale, by the lake farming the boars there, because I like the scenery and it's much quieter than the other spots on my server. But I've also listed some bison spots for you as some other options. These may not be the best spots on your server because lots of people might go there, so what I've done is I've attached a link in the description to the New World Maps website, which you can look up any animal you want to farm, and you can see the spots where most of them are. I highly recommend you guys checking this website out, as you can often find a lot of places which are rare and not a lot of people will know about. That's it for this video guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you guys and your support, and please leave a like and subscribe if this video helped you out. Thanks guys.